Hi, this is Leslie Jufles with Trading Live Online, and I wanted to send out a follow-up video from the one that was done on February 21st, I think. It was just before the drop. You can look that video up on my channel if you want to take a look at that, but that one talked about the divergences that were happening up here and the concern with those. Well, those obviously were foretelling the drop to the downside. You can see on this chart, I've got the S&P 500 E-mini chart. This is a daily chart, and I have it so we can see some data going all the way back to the end of 2016 and up into 2020. So first thing I want to do is talk about some areas of support that the market may see. And I want to stress that support and resistance are only support until they're not, and resistance is only resistance until it's not. As an example, if we look at this chart on the 30-40 area, and we see that it was resistance here, resistance here, resistance, 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 breakout to the upside, so it's no longer resistance. This should change, and this area may become a support area. There's also a 200-day moving average in this area. So we'll see if the market can get any sort of a bounce from here. If this does not hold, then let me move this out a little bit. You see this 382 right here? That's measuring from the low up to this high, and that's coming in just below the 3000 level, and that's also in this previous area of all of this congestion prior to this breakout here. Right here around 2950 I have marked in with a horizontal line, and that's also marking in a previous area that the market spent a lot of time trading around that 2950-ish area. You can see that all these test up, trading around it, back down below it. Look at all of this trading back up to it. It looked like a move to the upside, back down through, then it finally got going. So this area, should the market come below that 200-day moving area, I believe this is an area to keep an eye on. Now, I think what we want to also look at is some previous moves to the downside. And these turquoise lines, what I did was, this obviously is a down move that sticks out on the chart. And I just cloned this line. This is from late 2018 or early 2000, excuse me, early 2018. Correction to the downside. So all I did was took the length of this line, cloned it, and moved it over to see where it could find some similar type moves. So if we look over here to October, towards the end of the year of 2018, we can see this move to the downside, found support here, and then it spent quite a bit of time just in a large range, and then another move to the downside. This downside move here, from right here to here, is just about the same length. Let me see if I can capture that. Just about the same length of that move. So I've taken that that line, that size of that move here, and projected it down, and we're just in that area this morning. And we know we've got this 30-40 area that could be a support area. So now what to look for? What does that mean if this market finds support? Does it mean we're going to turn and come back up to new highs? In my opinion, I don't think that that's likely at this point because of so much damage done in such a short amount of time. This has been a very, as I talked about in the video from February 21st, 2020, I said in advance of this move, the reason you want to learn these techniques to spot these types of divergences is because when these types of down moves come, they're very strong, they're vicious, and a lot of people get sucked into buying dips on these types of moves. I don't think it's ready yet to buy a dip. I don't see anything on the daily chart. I think we'll see some bounces. The volatility is probably going to stay with us for a while on this. You can see on this chart, I'm going to spread this out just a little bit so we can take a good look at these bars. These bars are, look at the angle of this move to the downside. If you look at my red cursor, it's almost straight down. Um, if we were to look intraday on some of these bars, we see some very swift moves to the upside. I think that yesterday, before another decline started, there was a, just about 100-point move back to the upside. You can't really see it on this daily chart, but it's important to keep in mind that this is a very steep, sharp, swift move to the downside. So that any support, when the market does find support and moves back up, is going to do a lot of testing. So a good exercise to do is to go in and look and see where are some of those resistance areas back to the upside. Let's take a look now. We had used the RSI for the divergences. Now, this is not the only divergence. This was used in the video from February 21st. But there were other divergences as well. There were index divergences going on. There were divergences of the breadth had started to diverge. Uh, there were divergences on other oscillators, like for instance this MACD, divergences on that. Now we have momentum lows to the downside on our MACD. And I don't think even if we get a bounce to the upside, in my opinion, from what I'm seeing right now, I think we could see a bounce to the upside, maybe form some sort of consolidation pattern in a kind of a large range for a couple to a few days. And then I do think we're going to be testing some of these lower areas here, but we'll see if that plays out. So for now, you can just sort of go to your charts and take a look at a bit of a longer view. I put this on the daily chart, but if you go out to a weekly chart, you'll get a clearer picture of where we've been. Let's see if I can squish this up. This enormous uptrend that we've seen, and now correction to the downside. So we'll just have to wait and see where this market does find the support, and then we'll look at what some opportunities might be. For those of you that have not been through these types of moves before, there's really nothing to be afraid of, especially if you can do some analysis that alerts you to the likelihood of a move in one direction or another. Now, the magnitudes of the moves are a different story. You can't always tell what the magnitude is going to be, but if you are done your homework, it doesn't really make any difference. You can just follow that move. Okay, so that's it for now. I hope that you found this helpful, and have a good trading day. If you're a short-term trader and long-term traders, just be watching. We'll be watching these areas down here to see if we do find some support and then get some meaningful moves back to the upside. If you'd like more information on how to learn these strategies with this analysis, then please feel free to visit me at tradingliveonline.com, and feel free to send me an email. Have a great day.